Hi, I'm John Kenfield from the Solutionist group, talking again about the 50 common causes of conflict in family business and what you can do about them. This is video number 35, where I'm going to talk about discipline, or more correctly, lack of discipline. What is discipline? First of all, discipline can be internal or external. When we talk about internal discipline, we're talking about our ability to self-control and to self-regulate. So we can take that into any situation. When we talk about external discipline, we're normally talking about a specific system of rules and regulations, plus associated enforcement measures, plus consequences that flow from breaches of compliance with those rules. Lack of discipline, therefore, translates into a lack of accountability, which in a family business context can translate right back into perceptions of unfairness in the early years back in the playroom. In extreme situations, and even not so extreme situations, sometimes in long-standing chronic situations, lack of discipline can threaten the very survival of the family and the business. People working without constraint, doing whatever they like, without consequence, can be hugely challenging and damaging. When you attempt to have a discussion about discipline, the big D word, in a mature family environment, and particularly when you've got a sophisticated family, successful business, educated people, the idea of talking about discipline is initially met with a bit of nervous laughter. The family considers that discipline is a topic for small children. It's something we learn when we're young, and we should know how to apply it in our adult world. But when we deal with family conflicts, which we've now been doing for an awful lot of years, we constantly encounter the consequences of poor family discipline having terrible effects within the family, and sometimes very damaging impact on the family's business as well, even quite large businesses. In essence, we need good discipline in any system environment, and by system we mean a whole bunch of interconnecting things, such as a family members interacting, or business, a whole raft of different things interconnecting. In any of those systems, if we do not have discipline in the form of good behaviours, we end up with, at best, sand being thrown into the wheels. At worst, we end up with colossal friction, because we've got wheels turning against others, or at different speeds, or in different directions, and ultimately the machine breaks. Personality differences can have an impact here. Some people are able to self-regulate, self-control, they have good self-resilience, they have good powers of self-reflection, and they can manage in any environment, whether there are rules or not, because they are able to make rules for themselves to guide their own behaviours. Other family members do not have good self-control, and it doesn't matter whether there is a system of rules or not, they just don't follow them. And often that really translates back into something we've talked about previously, which is excessive protection from other family members, usually a mother, sometimes a sibling, which then leads to a lack of personal accountability, low personal resilience, because mum will always be there to backstop and support and protect. So therefore we'll just carry on doing whatever we want to do, whether we believe in doing it or not. In a business context, that is the beginning of a cancer. It also, in the family context, tends to lead parents to provide skewed support for some family members over others, which can create jealousies and or resentments, and ultimately they lead to conflict. Or they lead to some family members just taking themselves out because they're too annoyed that their parents are unfair, and their siblings are not deserving of trust or respect. And if they need to work together in a family or in a business, it ain't going to happen. So what do you do to resolve the problem of lack of discipline if you have identified there is a lack of family discipline, there is a lack of business discipline in adult, educated, experienced professionals or executives or family members? Well, the first thing you've got to do is be honest about recognising there is a problem and then determining that you're going to do something about it. Typically, we would say that if the problem is one of discipline, fundamental lack of discipline, that is a problem that will have been there since the very early years of growing up, which means the family is not good at dealing with those problems and probably needs some expert assistance, because if the family doesn't have skills and it tries to get into this space, there's a good chance it'll make things worse. So consider the use of psychologists, counsellors, coaches, advisors. If you've got an Uncle Bob who is good at this sort of stuff, bring him in by all means. You need to address the issue. People need to understand there are rules. They need to have a sense of what the rules are. They need to understand they are subject to the rules, and they need to understand there will be consequences if they continue to flout the rules. Once you've established a revised perception, if you like, and a different level of commitment within the family at a personal level and at a family group level, you can then translate that back into the business in terms of HR policies. Family business policies should always reflect and be congruent with family policies. Which comes first is up to the family, up to the situation. But if they support each other, you're on the path to a good outcome. As always, if we can help you with any of this, please get in touch. If this video has been useful, please like it and share it with others. And please come back and take a look at some of the others. Thank you.